Hey everyone, welcome back to bageltcg. I hope you've all had a great time in this Proquest season, and I know STARVO has been having a great time. So today we're going to be looking at if STARVO is going to ban himself before LSS can actually ban him. Right, so this is going to be a quicker video. We're just going to be talking about STARVO. I know he's been talked about a lot, but we're just going to kind of look at where he is in the meta game, how kind of unhealthy he has been, and what's happening here, right? So right now, this is the current Living Legend leaderboards, right? So you can see, even though he came out less than, he came out this year. I think he came out less than 2 months ago, right? Bravo Star of the Show is already the highest hero in the game in terms of event wins and AKA Living Legend points, right? These are just through winning pro quests. To clarify, this is 552 Living Legend points through winning pro quests. And you get 6 points. A hero gets 6 points whenever he wins a pro quest, right? So he has gotten 552 points, and that is a total of 92 pro quest wins, right? So he has won 92 pro quests, bringing him to 552 Living Legend points. He's the highest point in the game. The next ban list update is on April 5th, right? So a little less than 28 days from the day of releasing this video. This is March 11th. I believe the 5th is, let's see, 21. It's like 24 days away from the release of this video. It's 28, 27, 26, 25. It's 25 days away from the release of this video, right? So a little less than a month. We will have the ban and restricted update, right? So this is after the Calling Indianapolis, but before the Pro Tour that happens in May, right? The Pro Tour is May 13th through 15th, and the Calling Indianapolis is in just the next weekend here. So I believe the Calling Indianapolis is March 19th, right? So there will probably be no updates before the Calling Indianapolis. So the thing I'm looking at here, right, and we're all looking at is STARVO might get himself to 1,000 Living Legend points, which is the point when a hero hits Living Legend is no longer legal in the format, before they can even ban him on April 5th, right? So you get a hero gets 100 points from winning a calling, right, and 6 points from winning a pro quest. So if we look at his current 552 points, and then we subtract that from 1,000, he needs 448 more points, right? If he wins the Calling Indianapolis, he needs 348 more points, which divided by 6 is 58 pro quests. So there's only one weekend of pro quests left, right? I'm genuinely not sure if there are 58 pro quests happening, and if he can win all of them, if there is more than that happening. But if STARVO is able to win 58 pro quests or somehow acquire 348 Living Legend points before April 5th, and then he also wins the Calling, which aren't big asks, to be honest. The only big ask is that there is that many pro quests for him to win. I'm not sure how many pro quests are coming up. I think I said he won somewhere in the 90s so far, so it maybe is a big number compared to how many he's won so far, but I'm not sure it's an impossible ask. And certainly, if he doesn't get enough points there, if they never change anything, he would definitely put himself Living Legend if he wins the Pro Tour, right? But I don't think he'll be legal by then. But this is more, I don't know if this is possible, and the bigger point of this video is just talking about how broken this is and what LSS needs to do in the future to avoid having this happen, right? Because I think everyone can agree it's unhealthy for a hero to be released and within a few months have the most Living Legend points, right? AKA has won the most events, acquired the most points, right? Some of these heroes have won callings. You would assume during a ProQuest season, the points would be split, semi-evenly here. Like there's, he's won 50-something events. Like if those points were split more evenly across the heroes, maybe we'd see, he should probably be at 25% of what he's at, right? If we saw ProQuest wins being pretty even, we just see a lot of these points increasing. Meanwhile, we've had hero that's from the second set still at 0 points, right? This is a hero from the second set ever released. And this hero over here from the fifth set ever released. No, sixth set. Sorry, the sixth set ever released is at the most points. So even if it's not possible, if he doesn't win the calling and he doesn't win 58 pro quests before then, which would put him at 1,000 points and basically be ultra Chad mode, STARVO banning himself before LSS can ban him on April 5th. We just need to talk about what's going on here, right? So if we look at the bans that have happened so far, we can see that we have Ball Lightning banned, Drone of Brutality banned, Duskblade banned, Plunder Run banned, and Seeds of Agony banned, right? So Drone of Brutality is a bit of an exception, I think, along with Duskblade in what I'm about to talk about. Those are both cards that kind of break what they want to do with the game. Drone of Brutality makes the game just go on forever. Duskblade kind of punishes your opponent just for having a slower deck. So I think those, I mean, I'm not going to address those, but 3 out of the 5 here, so the majority, are 0 cost cards with Go Again. Right, Ball Lightning is 0 cost attack with Go Again, and Plunder Run and Seeds of Agony are 0 cost non-attack actions with Go Again. And all of these bans have been, up to this point, addressed at Rune Blades primarily, right? 4 out of those 5, so not counting Drone of Brutality, are because of Rune Blades, so Chain and Briar. And the problem with these heroes is that they also have Go Again, right? So Briar's hero ability gives Go Again, and Chain's hero ability also gives Go Again, right? And neither of those hero abilities require resources to activate. They are essentially free. You have to meet a condition for Briar's. And Chain, you technically, lose your deck faster, even though you get an advantage because of that. But they cost 0 resources for all intents and purposes. So if we look at this, we've had 3 cards that were banned that are 0 cost cards, so free, and have Go Again, and 2 heroes that have had bans directed at them that have 0 resource cost Go Again, right? The common theme here is that free Go Again has been problematic. Bravo Star of the show has free Go Again. And so I think it's to no one's surprise that the hero that they print that's new that has free Go Again is really, really strong. So I think obviously all of the parts of his ability, the Dominate, the +2, and the Go Again together make something broken. But I think that they need to avoid printing free Go Again, unless it has a big downside. So for example, Revel and Runeblood is a really broken card that people have been talking about getting a nerf somehow. But Revel and Runeblood has a cost in the sense of it only does anything at all if you've played a non-attack and an attack, right? So not that hard to meet. Maybe the card is too strong. But it's not just always there like Chain, who can just activate it and get it, right? Even like STARVO isn't gonna always hit, but when he does, it's just so insane. So I think we just need to talk about how good Go Again is and how LSS needs to pull back, right? They need to errata STARVO to get rid of the Go Again, right? Then he is limited to 1 big attack a turn. This allows decks that can block with 1 defense reaction and then have the ability to swing back, right? So you're playing Prism, you Soul Shield, right? For the cost of a Soul Shield from Arsenal and a card from hand, and you still have 3 cards in hand. He's not Winter's Wailing your Aura after, right? You're playing Chain, you block with Carrion Husk, and then there's no Winter's Wail coming at you after, right? It's the fact that he can do 2 attacks so that he can break an Aura or he can threaten a second Frostbite, right? He does too much with this Go Again. He's doing multiple attacks in a wider chain. The Go Again is just too much, right? So I'd really like LSS to, in their April 5th announcement, not only errata STARVO to get rid of his Go Again if he hasn't already Living Legend status himself out of the format. If he hasn't, I'd like them to get rid of his Go Again. I would also love for them to actually comment on how unhealthy Go Again is and what they are going to do to address this, saying, we're going to try to avoid giving free Go Again in the future. We're going to make sure there's more restrictions on free Go Again, not Chain where you say, I'm just going to activate my hero. Now my next attack has Go Again, right? Obviously, I am simplifying it a little. And some of the other heroes like STARVO, you have to get all 3 cards in your hand. But in essence, you can boil it down to free go again is just causing toxicity in the game, right? And that needs to be addressed. So I know free go again is on a lot of places in this game, but a lot of the times it is weaker go again, like a Kodachi's only for 1 damage, for example, even though it has go again, or it is conditional, right? But they have been printing a little too much go again that is not conditional or too much damage, right? So I'd like just for them to comment on that. Outside of that, I do expect to see STARVO win the calling. I expect STARVO to win the majority of ProQuest this weekend, as he has been. Um, they will definitely make an announcement and change something about him on April 5th, not because they've said that, but because if they don't do that, it's probably just one of the biggest mistakes they'll ever make. So they will be changing something about him on April 5th if he hasn't already Living Legend status himself. So we'll see that happen, and I'm sure I'll make a video talking about that when that happens. So hopefully we'll have a really fun new format for the Pro Tour where STARVO is either weaker or just not in it. I'm a little sad because I really love Guardian, and an Elemental Guardian was really cool to me, and I would still love to play him, just not in his current form. Like, I think it'd be really fun for him to be more controlling, and then when you get to your second cycle, then you can do big dominated attacks with +2, right? It's cool to do a 13 dominate crippling crush. It's just not cool that after that, I Winter's Wail your aura, or I Winter's Wail your face, or, you know what I'm saying? It's a little too much, and it's a little too easy to do, right? So I'd like to see some changes made there. And I believe in LSS. They've made good bans so far. When they first did the Briar bans, I thought they went too far. Now I think they were correct, and I think Briar's still in a solid spot. And I think any of those cards not being banned would have led to a continued unhealthy format. So while I'm not 100% confident in LSS to print healthy cards, because they haven't been doing that so far, I am confident with their ban list. They're doing a good job at banning cards. So excited to see how this goes. I'll be watching the calling in Indianapolis. I will not be there, but 6 members of Galaxy Gaming will be there. So go give us a shout out if you see any of us there. We'll have our purple and black jerseys on, or maybe the hoodies that say Galaxy Gaming. So give them a shout out. I will be at the Pro Tour. I know it's a little far away, but booked our tickets today. We've got 4 members so far in the Pro Tour. We still have some members grinding ProQuest this last weekend, with 2 ProQuest still left to get in our area. So maybe we'll end up winning them both, and we'll have 6 members of the 8 going to the Pro Tour. I hope we can get at least one of them. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll have another video coming out soon with a Katsu deck tech, and then maybe some other kind of content. Whiptum Wizard, actually shout out to Whiptum Wizard, sent me a booster box that I got to open and unbox, and I'll be giving away the Majestics from that. I'm just, as you can probably tell from these videos, I'm not the master editor, so I'm still trying to figure out how to do all that. Most of my content is just like a straight OBS upload, because I just like to have kind of raw, just strategy content. I really am trying to just bring high-level strategy Flesh and Blood content, talk about Flesh and Blood at a high level, and not worry too much about the fancifulness. I mean, I love some fancy stuff sometimes. I love watching the Command Zone, but that's not what I'm trying to bring to this community, right? But I really appreciate all your support. I think we're at 740 something subscribers now, which is really awesome. My goal is to hit 1,000 in the first 6 months of this year, and I think we're on track to hit that. I do think about like only 25% of you or so are subscribed. So if you want to support me and help me get to that benchmark, click the subscribe button. I'll also have a link to Whiptum Wizard if you want to support them. You can like, comment. Let's talk about what's going on in Flesh and Blood right now. And hopefully I will also get an affiliate link soon for Whiptum Wizard. So yeah, thanks for the support, guys, and I'll see you next time.